The shadows that follow. In the small town of Greenwood, nestled deep within the woods, rumors whispered of a sinister presence. Unsettling tales of psychopaths haunting the shadows had circulated for generations, shrouded in mystery and fear. But few paid heed to the warnings, dismissing them as old wives' tales and mere superstitions. Little did they know that the darkness they ignored was real, and it hungered for souls. As autumn's chill settled over Greenwood, a group of unsuspecting friends embarked on a weekend camping trip in the heart of the forest. Among them were Emily, a strong-willed and adventurous young woman, Mark, her loyal and easygoing boyfriend, Sarah, a brilliant but introverted scientist, and Josh, the charismatic joker of the group. They set up camp near an old, dilapidated cabin that locals had whispered was once inhabited by deranged hermits. The first night passed without incident, but the atmosphere began to shift on the second night. Strange noises echoed through the trees, and eerie shadows danced in the moonlight. Sarah, the most observant of the group, sensed a presence watching them from afar, but her analytical mind struggled to accept the supernatural. As days passed, a sense of paranoia engulfed the campers. Unseen eyes seemed to follow their every move, and the once joyful laughter turned to nervous giggles. Emily brushed it off, insisting that their fears were getting the best of them, but even she couldn't shake the chilling feeling that they were not alone. One evening, while gathered around the campfire, the group heard faint whispers carried by the wind. The words were indiscernible, yet their haunting tone sent shivers down their spines. As Sarah attempted to record the sounds with her equipment, an unsettling realization struck her: these were not natural sounds. They were the echoes of madness, born from the minds of deranged individuals. Night by night, the shadows grew bolder, and the group's sanity began to unravel. They saw glimpses of sinister figures lurking in the darkness, their eyes gleaming with a malevolent hunger. Emily and Mark tried to maintain a sense of normalcy, but their nerves were frayed, and their sleep was disturbed by vivid nightmares. Josh, once the life of the party, succumbed to an inexplicable madness. He would wake up screaming in the middle of the night, claiming that twisted faces haunted his dreams, tormenting him to madness. The group's desperation intensified as they realized the forest's malevolence had tainted their minds. As the nights wore on, Sarah's scientific skepticism wavered, and she sought ancient texts and local legends to understand what they were facing. In her research, she stumbled upon a chilling tale of a cult of psychopaths who once inhabited Greenwood. Led by a charismatic but deranged leader, they conducted gruesome rituals and left a trail of death and madness in their wake. The realization dawned on Sarah and her friends: the psychopaths' malevolent spirits still lingered in the forest, feeding on fear and unleashing their darkness upon those who dared intrude. They had to confront the evil that had become intertwined with the woods. With no escape in sight, the group ventured toward the cabin where the cult once dwelled, hoping to find answers and put an end to the haunting. But as they neared the decaying structure, the shadows enveloped them, and the line between reality and nightmare blurred. In the final confrontation, the friends faced the embodiment of the cult leader's malevolence. They fought against their own fears and the twisted spirits that fed on their vulnerabilities. It was a battle of wills, a clash between the strength of friendship and the relentless darkness. Whether they emerged victorious or succumbed to the sinister forces that surrounded them remains unknown. The tale of the psychopaths haunting Greenwood shadows continues to be whispered among locals, serving as a warning to those who dare enter the cursed forest, a warning that some horrors are very much real and best left undisturbed. The Asylum of Broken Souls. In the heart of a forgotten town, shrouded in mist and sorrow, stood an abandoned asylum known as Ravenswood Mental Hospital. Decades ago, it housed the most disturbed and dangerous psychopaths, their twisted minds believed to be beyond salvation. As the years passed, the hospital's sinister reputation only grew, fueled by dark rumors of unspeakable experiments and inhumane treatments. Among the shadows of Ravenswood, a group of urban explorers gathered one fateful night, drawn by the allure of the asylum's haunting past. Determined to uncover the truth behind the grim history, they ventured into the decaying building, their hearts pounding with trepidation. Leading the group was Alex, a thrill-seeker with a penchant for uncovering hidden secrets. By his side was his childhood friend, Lily, a sensitive soul who sensed a lingering presence within the walls of Ravenswood. Rounding out the group were Mike, the skeptic who always sought rational explanations, and Emily, a daring photographer with a fascination for the macabre. As they stepped into the asylum, the air grew heavy with despair, and an overwhelming feeling of dread washed over them. Whispers echoed through the halls, and the creaking floorboards seemed to mimic the agonized cries of the past. The group pressed forward, fueled by morbid curiosity and a shared desire to confront the horrors of the past. Within the asylum's crumbling rooms, they discovered remnants of the inmates' lives, faded photographs, and cryptic journal entries. The more they uncovered, the clearer it became that Ravenswood was not just a place of madness, but also a chamber of suffering. It was rumored that the asylum's head psychiatrist, Dr. Victor Crowley, had conducted heinous experiments on the patients, pushing their minds to the brink of insanity. As the night wore on, strange occurrences plagued the explorers. Doors slammed shut on their own, cold gusts of wind blew through the hallways, and the flickering lights cast eerie shadows on the walls. Unsettling images flashed before their eyes, and Lily couldn't shake the feeling of unseen eyes scrutinizing their every move. The group's camaraderie started to wane as fear and paranoia consumed them. Emily's once bold spirit was replaced with a sense of unease, and Mike's skepticism wavered as he struggled to explain the inexplicable. Alex, desperate to prove his bravery, urged them to push deeper into the asylum, naively believing they could solve the mystery that plagued Ravenswood. In a hidden chamber, they stumbled upon Dr. Victor Crowley's journals, chronicling his descent into madness and obsession with unraveling the darkest corners of the human mind. The more they read, the more they realized that the doctor's twisted experiments had not ended with his death, but had left an indelible mark on the asylum itself. As they delved further into the asylum's depths, the group began to experience hallucinations and vivid nightmares. Reality blurred, and they found themselves trapped in the tormented memories of long-deceased patients. Each vision revealed the gruesome details of the patient's suffering and the sinister entity that now fed on their collective fear. In a desperate bid to escape, they saw a way to break the asylum's curse. Lily, sensing a connection to the restless souls trapped within, attempted to communicate with the spirits. Through her, they learned that only by facing the darkness head-on could they free themselves and the tormented souls bound to Ravenswood. The group braced themselves for a final confrontation, knowing that their survival depended on their unity and resolve. They retraced the steps of Dr. Victor Crowley's most heinous experiment, a ritual that had once sought to merge the minds of psychopaths into a malevolent force. In a harrowing climax, they faced the vengeful entity that had consumed the souls of the tormented patients. The battle tested their strength, but they drew upon the power of unity and the will to survive. With every ounce of courage, they shattered the malevolent presence, releasing the souls from their eternal torment. As dawn broke, the group emerged from Ravenswood Mental Hospital, changed forever by the horrors they had witnessed. The asylum, once a sanctuary for broken minds, now stood empty, its malevolence extinguished. The town's haunting past was finally laid to rest, and the urban explorers returned to the outside world, forever bound by the shared experience of surviving the asylum of broken souls. Behind the bookshelves. In the quiet town of Willowbrook, the locals admired Mr. Barnes, the reserved and unassuming librarian. With his spectacles perched on his nose and a warm smile, he seemed like the epitome of a gentle soul. However, behind the bookshelves, Mr. Barnes harbored a chilling secret. By night, he transformed into a malevolent psychopath, seeking thrill and power through his sinister alter ego. He called himself the Whispering Shadow, for his presence in the darkness was as elusive as a ghost's whisper. The townspeople remained oblivious to the duality of Mr. Barnes, but Detective Miller sensed something amiss. Strange disappearances had plagued Willowbrook, and the pieces of the puzzle seemed to lead back to the library. As Detective Miller delved deeper, he noticed subtle hints that pointed towards Mr. Barnes. The librarian's eerie fascination with crime novels and the meticulous records he kept raised suspicions. Determined to catch the psychopath, the detective decided to gather more evidence. One night, under the cloak of darkness, Detective Miller staked out the library. From the shadows, he observed Mr. Barnes slipping into the hidden basement, an area inaccessible to the public. The detective's heart pounded as he saw the sinister truth unravel before his eyes. Inside the hidden chamber, Mr. Barnes had created a macabre gallery of his malevolence. Newspaper clippings, photographs, and chilling mementos adorned the walls, each documenting the horrors he had inflicted upon innocent victims. As Detective Miller gathered evidence, he couldn't help but shudder at the contrast between the mild-mannered librarian and the monstrous psychopath who reveled in the suffering of others. With a mounting sense of urgency, he prepared to confront Mr. Barnes and put an end to the Whispering Shadow's reign of terror. The following day, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Detective Miller entered the library with unwavering determination. With a calm facade, he approached Mr. Barnes and engaged him in a conversation, subtly probing for any sign of guilt. The detective's instincts proved correct when he noticed a subtle flicker of unease in Mr. Barnes' eyes. Seizing the opportunity, Detective Miller confronted the librarian with the evidence he had gathered. With nowhere to hide, Mr. Barnes' mask of normalcy crumbled, revealing the psychopath lurking beneath. In a chilling confession, Mr. Barnes recounted his twisted motivations and the thrill he derived from his crimes. Behind the bookshelves, he had found a haven to carry out his darkest desires, knowing that the townspeople would never suspect the soft-spoken librarian. Detective Miller promptly arrested Mr. Barnes, putting an end to the Whispering Shadow's reign of terror. Willowbrook breathed a collective sigh of relief, never suspecting that evil could be concealed so skillfully behind the facade of a friendly face. The town would forever remember the day the Whispering Shadow was unmasked, revealing the psychopath who dwelled within the unassuming librarian.